Actually, when you look at the economic indicators of the country, there's no reason for the lira to fall this dramatically. We have had much more important disputes with our allies in the past. We have much more bigger events, Turkey, like the coup attempt in June 15th of 2016. Has our currency lost that dramatically? There is a political speculation going on, and unfortunately, our allies in the United States are mainly pushing for it. But I cannot say this is a NATO thing or a West issue because our allies in Germany, in France, in Netherlands, even in Spain and Italy have made very strong statements on supporting Turkey.
Right. Okay. Listen, thank you for that. This is an interesting issue. You've made a distinction there that, well, I haven't really heard before between, I suppose it's an economic weapon, but you say it's being used for political reasons. Therefore, to stop it causing economic trouble for Turkey, these American sanctions and other things, to stop it causing economic trouble, you need a political solution. And that means that Trump and Erdogan have to talk about the situation of this American pastor. Is that going to happen? Because the president, Erdogan, has been talking very tough. He doesn't sound like he's going to back down, give the pastor back to the Americans. But surely that's all that needs to be done.
Well, once you give the pastor, I'm sure they will come up with other demands.
Do you think so? Do you think they're just going for Turkey at the moment?
This is not a pastor issue because actually they did meet at the NATO summit in Brussels just a month ago and they had an agreement going on. And unfortunately, all of a sudden, President Trump started sending tweets blaming Turkey and imposing sanctions on Turkey and trying to create a very negative image of Turkey. And he personally wrote that he is supporting a very strong dollar. Well, a very strong dollar is going to create issues for the United States economy. And if Turkey faces disability, that's going to create important reflections with our allies in Europe because 60% of our trade is with EU member countries.
Okay. Now that is
80% of the foreign investment in Turkey has come from Europe.
And you raise another interesting point. One of the things that President Erdogan has spoken about is the possibility of rethinking relationships. Now, having to read between the lines, because he wasn't explicit, that means maybe going to Russia or maybe going to China, elsewhere to find financial deals. But he needs help now before the lira just falls through the floor. What do you think he's going to do?
Well, he's going to look at all the options that are available to him. And it's no secret that China, Russia, India, Africa have great economic potential. And even our friends in the United States are going after that potential. And they're trying to solicit more investment from the Gulf and all these areas. And Turkey will probably look for economic opportunities in a global scale.
Okay, so but that's a pivot in the next few months and years. What's he going to do this week? Because that's what the markets want to hear. Why doesn't he just raise interest rates?
Well, he's not the one to raise the interest rates. It's
Why not?
The central bank, because central bank is a sovereign, independent entity here. And I'm sure they are discussing on the options. He has already taken 16 steps, which he has announced, including announcing that no one's savings will ever be jeopardized and the deposits in the banks are safe and under government control. And they have brought some limitations on the swap activities of the banks. So the government, with all its institutions, including the Treasury, Central Bank, the Board of Banks, have started taking measures. And that is why Turkish lira is doing better today compared to yesterday. So they have already started working on the issue.
So you reckon the measures that they're taking are going to be effective? Is the crisis on the way out, do you think?
Well, we have had instances back in 2001 where we had 8,000% interest rates overnight among banks. We overcame even that difficulty. This is something that we will overcome. No one should doubt. Turkey has a strong economy. We have a very vibrant young population of 80 million, which means they consume. And in order to consume, we have to produce. All we have to do is be more careful with our spending, and we have to create added value in our production, and we have to work hard and educate the young generation for a brighter future. And that's what we're doing.